So, your nutrition plan basically sucks, right? How would you like some informed direction to make some strides toward a lifestyle change to get your body back? If it's okay with you, I would like to provide you with enough information for you to make real-life, effective dietary changes that you could implement today. Let me just start out by mentioning that my time is very precious to me. And I recognize that with the busy lifestyle that most of us lead, that time management is important for the majority of people. So thank you for taking the time out of your day so we could be here together. For those of you who haven't attended one of my seminars or classes, or even experienced a private session with me, and this is our first time meeting, let me introduce myself. On the road to becoming a health and wellness consultant, I spent the majority of my life enthralled with the mechanics of the body and all facets related to overall wellness. Most of which stem from being a martial artist and a gym rat, then to the OR and teaching surgery, and then to personal training, sports nutrition coaching, and on and on and on. Anyway, all of which boils down to the fact that I am passionate about fitness and nutrition. And that's why helping people understand their body is truly my calling. It comes as no surprise that you're unhappy with your nutrition, considering the issues surrounding food in the world today. In fact, the OECD predicts that by 2020, more than 3/4 of the American population will be overweight or morbidly obese. That's only a year from today and is unfortunately only the tip of the iceberg. When you consider the timeline of the study of science, nutrition is still a very young field. And although there has been some increased interest in this topic over just the past 200 years, the funding and factual data really isn't as advanced as some other scientific practices, which places nutrition as a whole even deeper into its infancy. This accelerated superficial interest has now brought rise to inflated opinions filled with overly simplified pop lingo spewing through the nutrition world. In fact, the hype has increased exponentially just over the past couple decades. And while it's great that there's a palpable increase in the interest of our food, the sample studies or factual experimental evidence supporting these hypotheses just isn't really there. These combined circumstances have created a big separation from the obese, or moreover, the unaware group, from the obsessive know-it-all group that attempts to fix their fellow peers. It is interesting that this prescription that many well-intended nutrition nuts are throwing out to resolve your dietary issues is concluded without even hearing all the elements involved or establishing a proper diagnosis. In fact, most of the time, we health fanatics aren't even privy to enough information to reliably be able to establish a proper, well-thought-out plan based off of clinical testing or empirical data collected, because most individuals in need don't want to deal with the hassle or the time or money associated with collecting that information. Usually what we're exposed to is repetitive symptoms or complaints that seemingly need to be addressed in the same manner without really knowing a root cause, when in reality, many identical symptoms can be brought about by various different ailments. So one option is to measure deficiencies through clinical and behavioral assessment. And for some, this is well worth the investment to be able to clearly identify and treat roadblocks that are impairing their well-being. But the upfront time and money to accomplish that may not be a viable option for your average Joe who just wants to be able to walk the dog without killing over. Another option then is to conduct a nutritional analysis, then review it and alter your intake with someone who you feel is qualified to best direct you toward improved nutrient changes. Two highly effective changes that you could make now are, number one, take minerals and vitamins with copious amounts of water. There are a host of issues caused by lack of certain micronutrients and dehydration. In order to identify the cause of those issues, you'll need to record your current food intake for a short span of time. Conclude what you're lacking, and then make small, deliberate changes with your choice of vitamin or mineral supplementation, and watch for a positive effect. Once you get your head on straight, then you can examine how to get those lacking nutrients through your fork and knife mill. Most people find it really taxing or even near impossible to make big dietary changes when they feel like crap all the time. So if you start out by feeding the body instead of starving the body, you might feel more apt to continue forward. Are you finding this helpful so far? I like to make sure that I'm providing you with something of value. So if you have comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section so I know what portions of this is most beneficial to you. Alright, moving on. Change your food amount and type. Obsessively counting calories can be super irritating and stressful, and is often wildly incorrect based off of the data provided and the science available today to support your findings you collected. Therefore, when you commit to tracking your food to gain insight into what you're eating, there is no need to become fanatical about it. In fact, there are eating disorders like orthorexia and other behavioral issues stemming from this obsessive behavior. The idea is to get a general understanding of about how many calories on average you're consuming today, and to find how much of those calories come from protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Now you have an idea of what's not working for your body. The next step is to calculate your current BMR to get a baseline of how many calories your body uses just to keep vital organs functioning and operating. You can also define your body type, personality type, lifestyle, activity level, emotional and psychological triggers around food, and adjust your calories and macronutrients accordingly, if you choose to. But one thing's for certain, if you do not change the amount of food you consume or change the proportions of nutrients from where you're currently eating, nothing will change. Now that you've put in the time as the test subject, it's finally time to be the scientist. Utilizing the information you've collected, you can now begin making logical adjustments or call on a nutrition expert to help guide you through your various options. Nutrition is constantly evolving, just as our bodies are. So, as your body changes, your dietary and fitness regimen will need to shift as well. Observe, adjust, repeat. Is all this making sense? Great! Of course, there are several advanced considerations for people who place immense strain and stress on their bodies, like meal frequency based off of your hormonal and psychological response to intake or absence of calories, metabolic effect of grazing, the thermic effects of fasting, calorie and carb cycling based off of training days, adequate supplementation to cope with added oxidative stress, and so on. But for the average weekend warrior, or for the parent who just wants to be able to unabashedly wear their swimsuit this summer, none of that is important. In the grand scheme of things, all that is irrelevant, and the cortisol flush and the havoc that added stress would cause is counterproductive. So don't stress. You can fix what needs your attention in small bite-sized portions to fend off overwhelm. And rest assured that you will succeed in making a true lifestyle change that is effective and long-lasting. We've covered some serious ground here. Would you like more nutrition tips in smaller doses? Let's connect on CC Training social media. Get entertaining fitness motivation and effective nutritional insights to help you become the best you. Thanks for watching.